Brahms, The Boy 2 is a sequel to, wait for it, The Boy, shocking as it may be, is directed by the same man who directed that, William Brent Bell, and he also directed The Devil Inside. Stars Katie Holmes, Owen Yeoman, pretty certain I pronounced that wrong, Christopher Convery, who plays the little boy Jude, and Ralph Ineson, who plays a weird hunter guy. And this focuses around a family that went through a traumatic event. Katie Holmes' character goes through something very, very traumatic. Jude witnesses it, and they are both affected deeply by this. The husband is not there at the time, and as things go on, months and months later, Jude is not communicating. He's writing down on a notepad. You know, Katie Holmes is very scared by what happened. I'm keeping it spoiler-free for now. So they decide, hey, we need to get away. Let's try to find a way to reconnect as a family and get Jude to talk again and everything. He's obviously compartmentalizing a lot of trauma that he had. So let's just get away and go to a countryside guest home that's right next to the house from the first boy. Not even kidding. They go right to that guest house and everything, and a lot of shit unfolds when the doll Brahms makes an appearance. And things really start to go south and everything. This doll's, shifting its face, shifting its eyes. It seems to have a mind of its own. There are the rules, which if you've seen The First Boy, by the way, that movie, just a quick recap here, had, a young woman that was brought in by some parents to take care of a doll that reminded them of their son. And she was supposed to go, do all these rules and everything, dress him, feed him, that kind of stuff, no guests, all that, and hold to it. Well, it turned out that the parents were hiding a secret, that their son didn't die. He actually was living in the walls and stuff like that, and some murdery stuff happens, and then the house burns down and all that. So, okay, all that happened? Yeah, fuck it. It gets mentioned a little bit in this movie, but they decide to pretty much just nuke everything that happened in that movie and do a sequel that has no right to exist. This movie has no goddamn right to exist at all, and also has no right to be in theaters. I do not understand how this movie cost $10 million because none of it looks good. It looks like shit. It's acted like shit, and I like Katie Holmes. And actually, honestly, the cast does what they could. What they were able to do with the limited material. The kid actually isn't too horrible, but the problem is it's so goddamn basic. Once Brahms the doll is introduced, then just stuff starts to unfold and everything. The problem is there's no real central villain, and everything that they set up in the first one, they're like, oh wait, pretty much everybody died. Everybody that was meaningful in that movie died, including Brahms, who was living in the walls. He died in that fire, or did he? No, he did. At least it gets mentioned here. So, okay, shit, what are we going to do? I know, we'll completely destroy everything that happened that was set up in the first one and just make it where maybe the doll's actually alive. That's pretty much the premise of this, and that's the teasing they have going with this. I'm not going to lie to you, this movie is atrocious. It is. If it wasn't for a couple other movies that I had already seen, this would be my least favorite movie of the year. Has no right to exist at all. I don't know what the fuck Katie Holmes was doing in this. She's having to overact constantly. The kid playing Jude is fine, but he doesn't really have much fearsome, menace to him. It's like, creepy kid actors sometimes are hard to pull off, but it's like, with this, like, everything is obviously set up. There are jump scares from the very beginning, and none of them will make you jolt at all. You could have never seen a horror movie. You could be the most easily startled person in the world and not find this scary at all. And at 86 minutes, this movie feels stretched the fuck out. And it actually amazes me that this movie was so fucking short and felt so goddamn long. And as things go along and everything, you see the characters just constantly make stupid shit. They're like, oh, wait, our son has an unhealthy obsession with this doll. Maybe we should take care of it? No, let's just keep doing this shit, even though obviously there is something going on here, which any connection they try to make to the first one just makes you laugh even more because they destroy more and more of what they set up in the first one, which wasn't even that good anyway. I thought the first one was pretty damn shitty, and it was very obvious what the twist was in the beginning. Like within the first 15, 20 minutes or whatever, I'm like, how could you not have figured out in the first one that the boy was living in the walls? How could you? I mean, obviously he was older by that point. He was, just trying to take a bride. That's why all the babysitters kept going there, the babysitters for the doll and stuff like that. But no, We're not going to make it about that. We're going to make it something completely monumentally stupid. Any direction they could have gone with like using Katie Holmes's her character's trauma to maybe make it seem like she was making all this shit up. Nope, they couldn't do that. They decided to make it the most mind-numbingly stupid thing possible. Very simplified and very dumb. So yeah, this movie was absolute goddamn dog shit. So I'm just going to spoil everything now as we get to about, it's about 5.5 minute points. So if you don't want to know about spoilers, movie shit. Anyway, 3, 2, 1, and go. Okay, so traumatic event that happens in the beginning. There's a home invasion. Katie Holmes gets traumatized, understandably, gets hit by these two muggers. Jude hits the alarm, so everybody runs, but he is communicating through notepads because he is traumatized by seeing his mother get beat up, seeing these masked men. The husband, bless him, they decide to go off and they decide to go to this house that's pretty nice and everything, but like, oh, we're going to go investigate this house, this mansion and everything that's under construction. Oh, and then there's the character Joseph, Ralph Ineson's character, who is very obviously, like, he knows a little bit too much, where it's like, since he's the only other main character besides a doctor they communicate with via Skype, and it appears in like one therapy session earlier in the movie, since he's the only other character they really focus on, I wonder what the connection is going to be with Brahms. And also it's PG-13, so that doesn't really help that there's like no real good violence. The special effects are absolute shit. It's hard to believe that the same guy that directed The First Boy directed this, because at least with that, there was a decent setup. With this, there was no setup. This could have been on Netflix. Fuck, this could have been a Hulu original, and bless them, nothing is Netflix or Hulu, but this did not need $10 million pumped into it. It did not need to be in theaters. And as things go on, it's very obvious that Jude is being possessed by Brahms. He is being, made to do all these things and stuff like that, because now the doll, without, being just a porcelain doll that was used as a way to lure women in so the son could, trap them and make them his girlfriend. Nope, we're making it where the doll's possessed. That's essentially what we're fucking doing, and it's fucking atrocious. And they do this bullshit stuff where the doll, since the movie was so, it had such a small budget, they could only show, like, that the doll, instead of being full-on porcelain, that they show him being put back together at some point. They, being put back together by the Joseph character, because Joseph's all evil because Brahms has just that kind of mind control over him for some goddamn reason. We get these stupid scare scenes with Katie Holmes just, having to overact and having to, like, be like, I love my son, but it's like, I don't want to do this. We need to take the doll away from him. Wait, maybe we don't, because as the therapist said, he's compartmentalizing, he's doing this, he's trying to, work through his grief. Even though there's a freaking possessed doll that was not referenced in the first one, it's just suddenly, decide that we're just going to make it possessed because we don't have any other material for this goddamn movie. And then as things go on, it's very obvious that Jude he's wearing the same mask as Brahms from the first one. And I mean, more childlike mask and stuff like that. But yeah, he tosses Brahms in the freaking incinerator that they have for some goddamn reason. This movie took for fucking ever, and he burns, but then it seems like, oh no, everything's good. Oh, Jude's good. We go back, or we go a number of months later. Everything's good. Oh no, Jude is possessed. Brahms has found a human host. Somehow. It was never a possessed doll in the first one. Everything about this movie frustrated me. It was just so fucking frustrating. So fucking dumb. No good scares. No scares in general. It wasn't atmospheric at all. And it was such a cheap cash grab. This is one of the cheapest cash grab horror movies released in theaters that I've seen in a while. So F, obviously F. Maybe a pull up there. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. Let me know what you thought of The First Boy, and let me know what you thought of this one. Because I didn't think the movie was going to be that good, but my God, it was shit. Anyway, agree, disagree with what I said. Like, share, subscribe. Twitter handle in the description. I'm John Ritland. I'll see you soon.